Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Bring the Board of Assessment appeal to order. This is March 11th, 2020.
May 11th.
May 11th.
May 11th, yes, sorry.
Ms. Freeman, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Please state your name and what you are appealing tonight.
Sandra Freeman appealing the $6,000 assessment of my truck, the Dodge Ram.
Hi, this is Steve Palmer, one of the members of the Board of Assessment Appeal, and we have Eva
Hi.
and Karen here. Hi. You want to tell us a little bit about your truck?
Yes, it's a 2004 Dodge Ram 1500 four-door pickup. It is got 186,000 miles on it. The front seat is completely has holes, and I have to have a pillow and a towel to sit on the seat. Both quarter panels are completely rotted away. Underneath the truck, the exhaust system has completely rotted away for the 5th time, and the rest of underneath is starting to rot out. Inside, I have attached 12 pictures of the vehicle, of recent pictures that you can see to the condition and the mileage of the vehicle. It is not in very good shape. It is not worth $6,000, not a blue book value. I'm lucky if I can sell it for $2,000. It housed a dog for 10 years. It smells like dog. Milkshake has been spilt in it by my stepdad, and it smells like sour milk. It needs complete work. The body needs complete new bed and a new underneath now. And the interior has started to completely diminish. On one of the pictures, it shows the back plate underneath the seat, which has completely started to deteriorate and rust away. I'm not sure if you have the pictures in front of you.
I don't, but I did see them. Yes.
Yes, we did get them.
Okay. The truck, I can't even sell it to get $3,000 for it. Nobody will pay for that truck. It has sat in my driveway for about a year now, registered and insured. Registered, I mind you, to another state. So I pay property tax and have for 6 years now on that vehicle.
In which state?
In Connecticut, I pay taxes.
Okay. But you said the truck
it's registered to the state of Vermont.
Registered in the state of Vermont.
Yes. I had family out there.
Yeah.
And it's been registered to Vermont for 6 years.
Okay. Okay. I don't have any other questions. Do you have anything else you want to tell us?
No. Will I find out the assessment value is going to go down? How is it? I've never done this, so I have no clue how this works.
Okay, well, I'll mention that in a second. I just want to make sure that Gisela and Karen don't have any questions first.
I have no questions.
Okay.
No questions.
No questions, okay.
Okay.
We'll be deliberating this week on all our decisions for appeals, and then within the next 2 weeks, you'll get a notice in the mail with our decision.
Okay. Do you need any further documentation as far as pictures go or any of that to attest to the condition and value of the vehicle?
I think we're good at this point. If we do have any other questions, we can reach out for you if there's anything else that we need to know, but I think we have enough.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for your appeal, and you have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Sandra Freeman has left the meeting.
Okay, you've got 3 other petitions that are appealing tonight. Pamela Woltman, Chris McLaughlin, and Kimberly Palmer. And then after that, it'll be the deliberations.
Could I ask how on this motor vehicle, it's NADA is how you determine the value, right?
Yep.
Is it NADA in certain kind of condition?
No, we have no way of knowing what the condition is. So if there's a, if
So I
the,
mean, in the book, it doesn't divide it, right?
no, Blue Book
Okay.
doesn't, the Native Book doesn't until you get to the antiques. And then they will give you a low, high, and an average.
Okay. It's a learning experience. I've never done this.
Yes.
That truck does look like it's in rough shape, Mrs. Pam.
It does. That's why I wondered.
Yeah.
The NADA books, theirs are average retail, and they are as of what a dealership would pay for the vehicle if they were selling it retail. That's what those
If
figures.
it was if it was in fair condition.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Do you want to make a decision on that one, or you want to wait and see if your next appointment shows up?
Well, I definitely think we can talk about it if we, I don't know how you do that. You just pick a number, or how do you determine the number on motor vehicles? It's obviously not worth $5,900 in my mind from the picture.
Right. It's up to you to decide where you think it should fall. Sometimes when it's strictly a mileage thing, the Native book does have a mileage table, but this is a definite condition appeal, obviously. So.
Right.
It's definitely in pretty tough shape. Quick question, this is Steve here.
Yes.
What about the Vermont plate thing?
Yeah, that was. Is it registered in Vermont?
It is registered in Vermont. Vermont sends us a list of all vehicles that are registered to Connecticut addresses for us to tax if they should be taxed by our laws, because Vermont doesn't tax cars.
Oh.
And she owns a house. She owns a house in town, and she doesn't have a residency up there.
Oh, so that means that we get to collect tax on it.
Yes.
As personal property, not as motor vehicle.
Correct.
So it's a little different.
And because she hasn't filled out a personal property declaration for it, she's also getting a failure to file penalty on top of it.
So does anyone know about trucks? What would one pay for a rusted truck with 186,000 miles on it?
Yeah, I mean, if it was in good shape, 186 isn't so bad, but when it's rusted out and has a lot of issues, it's not really worth that much.
The value is set at $5,950 at this point.
That's pretty high. What was her claim on this? I just got mine set up for the Myers.
She was saying estimated value of $2,500 to $3,000. The owner was saying that.
Yeah, that's what she has on her form too, on her appeal form.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with 3,000 if anybody else has any thoughts on that.
Fine with me. That's Karen. Yeah, this is Gisela. I go with that, and then the penalty on the 3,000. So.
Yeah, this is Pam. I agree.
Okay. Pam, since everyone's here and you're an alternate, they get to vote. Let's see here. Let me tell you what you're doing.
Tell us what we're doing.
Yeah, so her assessment would be, if you go with the $3,000 value, her assessment would be $2,100. The failure to file penalty would be $525. So her total assessment would be $2,625, and that's including the penalty.
I'm okay with that.
It's fine. This is Gisela. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so I've got Steve, Karen, and Gisela voting yes for those figures.
Yeah, right.
Okay. First decision done.
Pamela Waltzman has joined the meeting.
Ms. Waldman, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay also?
Yes. Would you please state your name and the property that you are appealing?
My name is Pamela Prophet Waltman, and the property is 2 Exeter Court in Bishop's Cove Complex in Stonington.
Hello, this is Steve Palmer. I'm here with Gisela, Pam, and Karen. We're all members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. We're here to listen to your appeal.
Hi, Steve, and the rest of you. I'm sorry I didn't catch everybody's name, but I wanted to thank you very much for this opportunity. I have submitted information based on my purchase and the property that I have purchased, and I'm wondering if you folks have had the opportunity to review it, or shall I go over some of the important aspects of it?
We do have your petition and your details, but if you would like to go over some of the highlights, that'd be great.
Okay, well, thank you. So I very much wanted to be in Bishop's Cove community, and when I had been searching, nothing had been on the market. When this unit came on the market, I had already sold my home, and I recognized that the unit had needs for upgrading. But when I got in and, of course, owned it, those needs became more apparent. So when I began to search to see what options I had, I came to recognize that the last appraisal of the property being in potentially more inflated terms, the appraisal of the property was at $432,300 back then, and the assessed value was $3,026. So I come along today and I purchase it at $385,000. The bank assessed it at $383,000. And I'm just hoping that maybe, since I have to invest a considerable amount of money to get this back up to what it should be in this community, that in 2 years it'll be ready to be appraised properly, and we'll probably come back up to where it would be right now. So I'm just hoping that maybe I can get some advantage.
Okay.
I think that's about it, Steve, as far as, the realities of things go.
What were the just a couple of the key things that needed the most work on the place?
There was a good bit of interior water damage. So hard to know exactly how, but I do know the family in here had been aging in place. And so the water and the neglect began to mold, mildew, and so I had to have a lot of sheetrock taping removed in walls and ceilings. I still have a lot of bathroom work to do because the grout in the bathroom was accepting water and weakened the wall behind it. And then there was a lot of water in the basement damage, which still has to be cut away to see, what happened from that. I can only see at this point as the work evolves that it's visual, but I haven't broken into the walls yet.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else at this point?
Steve, there is not. I mean, I'm a retired business person. I totally understand the town needs its money. I get that. I'm just hoping that maybe the town will recognize that it had been appraised higher 8 years ago, but in those 8 years, the property has diminished considerably, and that's really all I'm asking for is could we maybe look at putting a truer value on it today? And that's my request.
Okay, we'll take a look at that, and I just want to give the other board members an opportunity to ask any questions if they have any. Gisela, Pam, or Karen?
I have no questions. I have no questions, it's Karen.
I have no questions either.
Okay, Steve, Pam, and Karen, I want to thank you again because I had an emergency for the last meeting and I couldn't make it. So I just appreciate your time.
Okay.
What happens next?
Yes, we'll be making decisions this week, and then within the next couple of weeks, you'll receive a notice in the mail, no change or no change.
Okay,
Right.
Thank you. Fair enough. I appreciate it very much. Take care, everybody.
All right.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Pamela Waltman
has left the meeting.
Mary Cassidy.
has joined the meeting.
Ms. Cassidy, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. McLaughlin's here also.
Okay. If you'll state your names and the property that you are appealing.
Mary Cassidy, 45 Montauk Avenue. And Christopher McLaughlin.
Hi, Mary and Chris. This is Steve Palmer, and I'm here with Gisela, Pam, and Karen. We're all members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and we're here to listen to your appeal.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You can go ahead anytime and tell us some of the highlights. We do have, what do we have? We have the appeal. I'm just seeing what we have for backup. Okay, I see some tax cards and some appraisal stuff. Okay, go ahead and tell us about your appeal.
Sure. So basically, we're submitting the petition to appeal the current tax rate, as we believe the assessment of the property is too high based on what we paid for it on April 19th at $700,000, and it had been on the market for 3 years, from a high of 1.35 million, and then to the sale price of $700,000 on April 19th.
This is Chris McLaughlin, and we have when we bought the house, it was appraised for the bank at $800,000. So that's why we're basically saying we think it's worth $800,000, not $1.2 million or something like that we're taxed on. That's a significant gap between the two.
Okay, this is Stephen. Is there any issues with the house or any discrepancies in the description from the tax code that we should be aware of?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do we, and this may be a quick question, the difference in the asking price versus what you were able to purchase for, was it just market you considered, or you think it's condition issues with the house?
Well, it was tired looking. I think that's why it didn't sell beforehand. But I think that was basically the whole thing. Maybe a lot of it, but it certainly wasn't worth $1.2 million because nothing in the area is sold for that. That's why we felt the $800,000 appraisal was probably what it was might have been worth. Tuned up, as I say. We've done some painting and stuff to give it some better looks. That's about all. But it's certainly not $1.2 million, I guess I'm saying.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add this time?
No, we would just ask that it could be looked at, and hopefully we'd get get our taxes lowered, our assessed value lowered. That's all.
Okay, let's see if any of our board members have any questions. Gisela, Pam, or Karen? Does anybody have a question?
I have no question.
I have no question.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll be doing our deliberations this week, and within a couple of weeks, you'll receive a notice in the mail, change or no change.
Okay.
Okay, very much appreciate everyone's time and the consideration for us.
Thanks for giving us the second chance. We missed. I don't know how we've been so running crazy with our lives that we missed the last meeting. But thank you for putting us on again.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, you too. Thanks, Steve. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Mary Cassidy
has left the meeting.
Your next appointment is at 7. So if there's any discussion you want to have on those that you just heard, or any of the other people on the agenda.
For Exeter Court, can we look at what condition it was? It sounds like she discovered the water problems after she moved in. What it says on the town card?
Do you have a copy of it in front of
We
you?
have a copy of it. Pull it up.
Okay, let me see what I've got here.
From what she said, she didn't see it before she bought it. That's the way she presented. That's what I thought.
It says on the card, very good.
If we made it less than that, would that help? Did you read the recommendation from Greg yet on that one? Well, she hadn't come before us yet, so I wanted to hear what. Yeah.
Well, she had sent.
Pictures were pretty.
Yeah, she had sent in the pictures, so Greg reviewed the pictures and did make a recommendation.
Oh my God, what is she under? I can't find the.
It's under Ellen Myers, trustee, because she bought it.
Okay, right, okay.
Yeah, she bought it after the assessment date and even after the closing of the.
Kimberly Palmer
Has joined the meeting.
Miss Palmer, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, if you'll state your name and what you're appealing for the board.
Sure. Kimberly Palmer, and I am appealing an assessment of my business.
Hi, this is Stephen, and we are here with Gisela, Cam, and Karen. We're all members of the Board of Assessment Appeals to hear your appeal.
All right. So essentially, I don't have any. It looks to me like I'm paying for property that I don't claim, that I don't have. So essentially, I have a laptop, and that's it. And then I host meetings outside of my house, work outside of my house, typically at, coffee shops, whatever, the kitchen table, but I don't have any property other than my laptop.
And so it's listed as a non-filer. Have you filled out a petition at this point?
Yeah. Yes.
Submitted one to the town hall?
Yeah, well, I filled out the appeal a while back.
But nothing else? So you haven't filled out a...
No.
Okay. Anything for personal property. So this is a business or something you do on a regular basis?
It is my business, yeah.
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 And it's only just the computer you're saying that you have that you use?
Yeah. We don't declare value on, we don't pay for, for our home office, you know what I mean? It's not, we don't claim the house on our federal taxes. It's not, and typically, the majority of my work is done out, whether, holding meetings outside, things like that.
Okay, and I think I have something here is talking about the value of your computer. You have a receipt, is it? Apple Store receipt?
Well, I guess it depends. I think initially in my letter I had said, 500 or 800, because the depreciation is now, so I'm not quite sure how that, what that works out to be.
Okay. I'm looking at an Apple Store receipt from September 2018. Is that the computer that you're using?
Yeah. Yep. That'd be it.
Okay. Okay, I don't have any other questions at the moment. Adele, just a quick question.
Yep.
and just correct me if I'm wrong, but she should fill out this personal property declaration each year,
Yes.
just listing this computer, right?
Yes. What's the nature of your business, please?
Graphic design.
Okay. Are you a photographer also?
No, I mean, I as a part of my business, I do photography, yes, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't say that is my business. You know what I mean? Like, for clients, if they need photography, I'll do photography for their website.
Okay, so you do have photography equipment that you take pictures if they want you to take pictures?
Yeah, it's mainly for personal use. But I'll do, yeah. But I definitely wouldn't, like to have my job title as photographer.
Do you have office furniture in your home that you're using while you process your graphics? A desk, a chair, anything like that?
I mean, I bounce around from, like mostly the kitchen island, but typically, well, now it's a little bit different, but, I go to local business and bar, the library, things like that.
Steve?
Okay. Well, I guess we have to do is kind of, on our end, to decide how much use is being used at home and how much is an outside location. Is this your primary source or job? I mean, we're just trying to get a handle on the scope of this.
Yep. Yeah, no, this is my primary job. I'm part-time. I have, and especially now I haven't been, I have the 3 kids at home and there's not, things have really, changed, as of late, but yeah, so it's, I don't know if that answers your question.
I guess we're just trying to get an overall picture here. And as for photography equipment, is it like digital cameras? Is it your iPhone or how?
I mean, mostly use my phone.
Okay. Okay. I guess I don't have any other questions. Gisela, Pam, or Karen, does anybody else have any questions?
No questions. No questions.
No questions.
Okay. We are going to be making our decisions about appeals this week, and then in the next 2 weeks, we'll be sending out our decisions, whether it's change or no change.
Okay.
And going forward, just so we be looking out for some sort of form to fill out and submit by end of October each year. It's a personal property declaration.
Okay, so when do you guys typically send that out? So I can be on the lookout.
This is Adele, and the board doesn't send it out. The assessor's office does. We mail them out usually the last week of September, and they're due by November 1st.
Okay. November, okay.
Okay? Do we have the correct mailing address for you?
Yes, the last thing you sent, I did receive.
Okay, good.
For the appeal, yeah, so the 61 Cove Road is correct, yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, I think we're all set. If you don't have anything else for us, have a good night.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. You too.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye. Kimberly Palmer
has left the meeting.
Do you want to go back to Exeter Court, Miss Woltman?
Yeah.
find it here.
Since we started the one on Ellen Myers or Wolfman,
I'm okay with his recommendation, Greg.
yeah, I thought it was a fair recommendation. Given the pictures we got to see, this is Gisela.
Just playing a little catch up here. Looking at pictures and okay.
Greg recommended a reduction to the market value of $383,700 by allowing physical depreciation due to the damage.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds fine to Steve.
Okay, so Steve, you're approving. Gisela?
Yes.
Gisela, yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's done. Do you want to look at Miss Palmer here while we've got it handy?
Yeah.
That one,
I said abstain because she does our website. Or I don't know.
Karen, is that you?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
this one is hard to get a handle on because obviously she uses her iPhone as well as her laptop. I didn't get a sense she prints photos, though, or anything like that.
She does our website. Like, I didn't know she did any photography. I never, she just did John's website. I don't know where she works out of. It's not like I ever asked where she did her, So I had no idea she did any photography. We just, use it just as a website designer.
Yeah.
And that's how she was recommended to us, as, for website.
We picked her up from her website, from Facebook, and she's listed as a vendor for My Mystic Wedding as one of their preferred vendors.
But as one of their preferred photographers, or
It just says, just said preferred vendors. A lot of the places that have weddings, they will have preferred vendors, and they will list a list anywhere from photographers to graphic designers for invitations, things like that. If they don't do the in-house cooking, they'll have preferred caterers, preferred florists, and they'll have a list. It must be people they're used to working with.
Yeah.
So, not necessarily the saying wedding photography. That seems like a big jump that's a pretty specific kind of business.
yeah, I didn't get a sense that she was a photographer per se.
Yeah. And I know, she's, last time, I've only met with her once. She was pregnant and she was taking time off. I think that's what she was saying about having the 3. I don't know if she's doing as much as she did before, but.
Well, and a lot of engaged couples have websites.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
So she's probably a web designer for couples, for engagement,
Yeah.
or invitations and graphics.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that she doesn't have a lot of anything other than her computer. She may be using the counter of the kitchen or the dining room table, but I'm thinking a lot of it's just virtual here, and she's meeting people.
I think that's probably correct.
Okay, so where would you like to go with this?
Just the laptop?
And the laptop, and but she mentioned something about 500, but that receipt says something different. It said it was, I've lost it here, but I think it was like $1,800, was it?
On her appeal form, she says 1,300.
Okay, 1,300.
That seems more.
The receipt from the Apple store that she submitted says $2,599, and then
Right.
a promotional savings of about $200. So the total at the end is $2,399.05.
Yeah.
And
So does that get depreciated over a couple of years? I know for our business we depreciate.
the invoice date is September 2018.
So it's a 3 year. I don't know how that. I don't know.
How much depreciation is there on computer stuff on the form?
Yeah.
Let me check. Let's see. It's 20% depreciation. So that would bring the computer depreciated value down to 1,920.
Yeah. And what is it? Is it dropping 20 per year, or the 20 is 10% per year? For 2 years.
It's 5% the first year, then it's down 20% additional down to a residual value of 20%.
I mean, I think I'm okay with just doing the depreciation on her value of the $23.99.
Now, do you want to put anything in, a minimal amount for any furniture that she may be using?
I didn't really get a sense she's using much furniture. She's using her kitchen island.
Yeah. That.
And what about consumable supplies, office supplies? If
I think
she's,
that one we could probably leave that one at 35, but she's got to use some kind of supplies. Or 50, it's on here, on her card. 50 appraised and 35 assessed.
okay, because she would have business cards, things like that she buys regularly.
Yeah.
So you want to...
No, I don't think people really use any business cards anymore.
I mean, if we had the 50 and 35, at least that's something, and whether it's printer paper or pencils or something, that's just something at least. And if it's, when she fills it out again in October of next year or this year, there's an opportunity to change, bring us up to date or not.
Now, on Greg's recommendation, he recommended that we also set a value for the iPhone. Is that something that's typically done?
I don't think so. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If it's considered part of the business, then it's part of the business and being used that way.
Yep. She did. Did she say?
She said she uses her, if she needed to take pictures, she uses her iPhone.
Yeah, and what did she say about filing on her taxes? Did they say anything about that? They didn't. She said they don't do it home office. I guess that's what she said. Right?
That's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah.
She said she didn't take the deduction on her income tax.
Yeah, I mean, if you were taking all of that, then maybe it's a use, but pretty much phones. Yes, it's for use for business, but everybody's got a phone now.
Mm.
And also use for personal, so it's not just for business.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you pay for your coffee with your phone now. I mean, I'm inclined to say let's not worry about the phone.
computer and supplies.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. So that would put her assessment down to 1,379 plus 345 for the failure to file penalty, which would reduce her total down to 1,724.
I'm fine with that.
I am too. This is Gisela.
This is Steve.
Karen?
Do you want to?
Oh, you're abstaining, or are you voting?
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, Pam.
Pam, you can vote.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with all of that. That sounds good.
Okay. All right. Do you want to go right to McLaughlin and Cat? Yeah. Or did you have anything you want? He didn't add anything to what he's already submitted.
This is Montauk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
45
Yeah.
Montauk.
All right. Yeah.
I don't think he has an argument. He's basing it solely on a 2019 sale price.
He is. My only concern on that is, and I know I think the appraisal was a bank one and all that, but the house did go on the market. It was on the market for quite a while and didn't move.
Well, I think that's true of many houses, though. That,
Oh yeah, I'm
because
sure.
it's based on 2017.
Yeah, and I know the market could change, but we didn't have a crash, and had it go from almost $1.4 million to 700,000. I mean, it's almost that's almost half. I mean,
It doesn't sign it was priced way too high, and that was not the actual value.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I mean, and everybody thinks they've got something better than it is, but I'm not saying 700s are right, even 800s are right, but I had to get back here. What do we have it in for at the town?
$1,222,000, I think, on the card. See, the problem is I think we're supposed to be looking at it as far as what it was worth in 2017, because that's what everyone else is being taxed at.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, but it's just I mean, even if it was a crash, it wouldn't go in half. I'm just wondering, was it that high? I mean, I haven't seen. Do we have enough to make an adjustment? I don't know. It's just.
I feel like
big
you have to look at more. I didn't look at this one yet since we just heard it tonight. I'd want to look at more information.
You haven't looked at Greg's recommendation yet?
Well, I don't always want to go. I mean, I feel like we're an independent board, and I do appreciate, and I do look at his assessments, but I don't think that's necessarily, we should always go with what he has to say. The whole reason is, he's part of that office. We're supposed to be an independent board that's looking at it with our own eyes. I don't like to read his right away. I like to kind of look at them, and then I do always take them into account, but I do read them, but.
So what we need to look at some of the appraisals from 2017 on typical houses.
Well, we also tend to look at neighboring houses and the town cards, that kind of thing. I'm not saying we have to do that for this, but that's typically what we do. Would you say, Steve, look at what else around there?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we usually do, is we start pulling out information.
Okay, do you want to table this one and put it on the agenda for the 14th? to give you time to do some
Yeah.
research?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means we're going to have a meeting on the 14th.
Oh,
Okay.
the 14th, we can't have the 14th, okay. Oh, I don't, so Steve, what do you think?
And I mean, I'm looking at the pictures. I mean, are we thinking about still discussing this, or thinking about not doing the 14th?
That's what I mean. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm looking through the pictures. And it's a huge house, and it's got beautiful amenities, but wow, I just can't believe they got $700,000.
I think they got a bargain.
Yeah. So there's a lot happening there. But why did it go on the market for so long and keep dropping and then go for that cheap?
Who had it on? Boy.
Right.
Oh, is that a racquetball court in the basement? Wow.
This house, I've heard.
Pam, have you been in it?
This is just anecdotal. I've heard from the neighbor, who is a real estate broker, that it was just a very odd, not just in layout, but it had some real issues to it. He never specified what the issues were to me. But he was saying that as a broker, he did not want the listing because he wasn't confident about being able to sell it honestly, or I don't know. He didn't want to represent that it was a solid house to anybody. So, you know, again, the current owners did not say anything about poor condition. They just said it was tired.
Yeah.
So we have to go off.
It does seem 700 seems low. So that.
Oh yeah, and I'm not thinking
land in that size house. Yeah.
Right, I'm not thinking anything near that. It's just.
No, I know. Yeah.
It's. I'm just going back to the property card here. What do we have it in at? We have it at full value at 1,222,800. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it's probably listed. I mean, the broker who listed it, I don't think knows this market that well. I would say. Well,
I guess it's the custom pricing that's under style and condition. That's probably fueling the price.
Okay.
Adele?
Yes?
Not having a lot of information in front of me, what at custom house listed at custom? What is that? That's the high end of the spectrum.
Let me get into the program and take a look. Yeah, custom is up there. Let's see.
I think with the size of the square footage, because it's a huge house along with custom, I think most of the money is in the house itself, because the land doesn't seem to be bad at 268.
If you were to change custom to colonial on the two cards, because there's kind of that attached bump out there,
Yeah.
it would bring it down from the 1.22 million to 1,015,200. That would reduce the value 207,600. If you were to bring that down a notch.
Yeah.
Now on the card,
Yeah,
on the card, it's notated. They were asking 969 August of 17, which is right around the assessment date.
mm-hmm. So, and that price point, it's 1.1 or whatever it was, or I think that's where I was kind of thinking. It was.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Yeah, it's just such a large disparity between what we have it in and the actual. And I understand there's a couple of years difference in it.
So do you want to put it for a vote?
Yeah. Do we have any other discussion? Not making that adjustment.
Okay, if you make that adjustment, you bring down the value to 1,015,200. Do I have a vote for that amount?
Adjusting it to colonial from custom.
Right, it brings it down a notch there.
I think that's fair.
Okay, Steve, what's your vote?
Yes. Steve, I vote yes.
Gisela?
I can go along with that.
Karen?
I vote yes.
Okay. All right, then that one's set.
And the first one was the truck. We took care of that already.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
You've done all the ones that you just heard. It doesn't really matter what order you want to take them now, just as long as they're on the agenda.
Well, you want to start with Grace Smith, since she was the first one there.
I think that sounds good.
On that one, I did read his recommendation, and after looking at it, it seemed reasonable.
Okay, that was the one that changed to a single family.
Yeah, right.
So
And he Go ahead.
So I sent you the pictures too, and you all saw those.
Yeah, that was separate, right? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
I'm surprised they only sent, I think this one only had one picture of the inside, right?
Let me check.
The other two were outside.
Yes, the rest of them are outside. So the recommendation was to change the grade on the house to average and depreciation to fair, which would bring it to a new assessment would be 189.3. It would be a reduction of $3,800 on the assessment. $3,800 more than its original assessment when it was a two-family.
But it's still down from.
How much difference is it?
Her current, let me.
When it was a two-family, it was 185.5, right?
Yes. And then it became a single family and the assessment went up to $222,100. If you were to bring the grade down and the depreciation, the new assessment would be $189,300. It's still an increase from when it was a two-family, but a single family is worth more.
They change the house to two-family of high insurance.
Well, I could go along with that, even though he says we should have more pictures to do that, but.
I agree with his recommendation.
I think that's fine, 189.3.
Yeah, this is Steve. I'll agree with that.
This is Geese, I vote yes.
Okay. All right, that one's done. Next one on the list is the 43 West Broad Street. The old bank.
That's the old credit union building. Too bad they didn't have a permit to remove that ATM.
Yeah. Because it does make a difference whether it was removed by the assessment date or not. It was included in the MLS listing for the sale.
But that was the year before, right?
Yeah, let me see when he bought that. Too bad his picture didn't have one of those date stamps.
Yeah. He purchased it in February 2019.
$240.
I do know it hasn't been there for a while, but I couldn't tell you because I walk by there all the time. But I couldn't tell you when it was removed. I'm surprised Core Plus didn't remove it.
His appraisal, I don't believe, did anyone see an income approach to value?
No, I don't think they had the income approach.
For a commercial property? That's
Yeah,
odd.
I looked at that appraisal. I didn't see it. It might be there.
I would think that you would have to on a commercial building. Did he say whether he removed it or...
I don't remember.
Well, what I wrote on my note was it no longer is there. He didn't say specifically he removed it.
Okay.
Right. How much difference does no ATM make?
On the back of the card, the ATM has an appraised value of $25,200.
Wow.
There would be depreciation and stuff, but that's what's there.
And the purchase price of the building, where is that?
$240.
$240.
He bought it February of 19.
Yeah.
But see, there too, it was functioning in 2017 as a credit union building, and that's what the appraisal was
Right.
set at. So.
He took out a building permit May of 2020 to change renovations in the building. He shows where he's going to move walls, but there's nothing denoting anything about the ATM.
I just have a note here on April 4th. What was April 4th? Did he say he took it out then, the ATM?
I don't believe he gave a date of when he said he took it out.
If he did, then that would be before October 1st, so, of 2019, because he bought it in February. Unless he meant it couldn't have been April of this year, because it's been gone longer than that.
I mean, I don't want to outstep our bounds here, but I mean, the assumption is the ATM is gone. But are we not?
It is gone.
If we took an ATM out and called it a day at that point?
I'd be willing to do that.
I'm fine with that. This is Karen.
Okay. Okay, so remove the ATM from the card.
Yeah. I vote Steve. I vote move the ATM.
So Steve, you're good with that?
I vote yes.
Gisela and Karen, you're all good with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next one is Barnett. That was the vacant lot on Wompasig.
Yeah. This one he was saying, his lot has no access to water, a lot of wetlands. It's hard to tell if the big map, if the other lots near there all have water access.
Let's see. There's a table that Greg laid out for you showing the C factors.
I know the C factors, but I was thinking the water access.
Can you bring up GIS?
Yeah. Oh, I should have done that. Okay.
I know that at that spot in question where the this is Pam, the lot is I can confirm that's marshy and that's never had a dock there before.
Okay.
And, spent a lot of time at my grandmother's house, which is now owned by Patty Kitchings, which is 2 properties to the south of the lot in question. No other dock could go in back in there, and I'm sure
I know you know the area a lot better than I do. Do you think? I mean, it's not as valuable not to be able to have the water access or build on it.
that definitely removes some value from it.
Yeah. Subject. So, looking at his chart, and I know we talked about C factors last year. What goes into those? So I know
Those are individual characteristics of the property themselves.
yeah. So like 225 Wompasig, it's only a 1.84. Saying it's wet. Like ours, it says subject, but it doesn't say marshland or anything on the one we're talking about. Should that be added?
If you look at the GIS,
Yeah.
you can see there's like a little cove area between where the Woolworth house was and the actual point where and that's on the inside of that curve. Now there's a right of way, a 20-foot right of way between him and his next door neighbor, which is 242, and he's got a dock on his.
Yeah, 242 is the same owner as the lot in question.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, next, he said, but the additional lot can't be,
Yeah.
It can't be what?
he said he couldn't get, at least in my notes, he was talking about that. He talked about how you couldn't, adds a lot of value being able to get the deep water dock, and you couldn't there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's not the same depth or,
Yeah, there's no depth at all there. In fact, I can pull up my nav chart if you want.
Yeah, you probably have a better.
Those.
Well, the aerial picture kind of looks a little bit more like what it really is versus the site map picture with the bright blue.
Yeah.
The next picture over where it shows that, there's more of a brown and black and white type picture. You can see some views, but it's not really, it is marshy and it is, can't get to it. You need waders.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the navigation map that I just pulled up, that shows as green. That area that's just north of their dock, where their house is, the lot to the south, does not even show up on a chart as water. It shows up as marsh and grass, not navigable at all.
It seems like we should value it that way then. To be fair, because there are other ones on here, that do say marshland.
Well, let's see. 242. His house lot and this vacant lot have the same C factor.
So you're saying we could adjust the C factor, or we can't?
Well, you can do whatever you want. That's your why they come to you. So.
Yeah, that's I'm wondering if we.
Well,
what his house lot though is worth what?
You hate changing the C factor and really making the whole thing a bit crazy, but maybe with a condition that there's more wet or something like that. So I have to go back to the card.
Okay.
See with it. Sometimes you can make an adjustment because of topo or marsh or.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was asking. If that's involved with C factor.
Yeah. All of that would fall into the C factor category.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking?
Trying to get back to the original card.
Okay.
So many in here.
seeing one. Is there two cards here? I see one card that says waterfront on it.
Well,
And that's the 242 Montauk.
That's his house.
That's his house. He put that address on his petition before he told us what he was appealing. So you've got a copy of the card for the house too, I believe.
Oh yeah, I've got the GIS up here. Property card.
The property that his house is on is valued at $1,360,000, right? And the vacant land is $1,498,000.
So are you thinking you want to do something with that C factor?
Well, I hate moving a C factor, but whether we add something because of marsh or something like that, it just...
Well, that's how you would do it. By adjusting that C by whatever you feel.
Yep. What is it appropriate?
There are two that are 3.75 that are on here. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of what's on that street, but
Okay, let me do this for you.
Montauk Road, the C factor is 1.84.
No, that would sound like an acreage figure.
1.84 acres.
Oh yeah, it looks like that
They
is
must
the
have made a
acreage.
mistake. They must have.
Mistake.
Yeah.
All right.
That's weird.
Wait a minute. If I change the, let's see. So the land. If I change the C factor to 3.95, it would take the appraised land from the 1,498,200 down to 1,479,500. Do you think it needs to come? That brings the full value down 18,700. Do you think it needs to be more?
I was thinking more than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the C factor, what does it do based on like access to waterfront? Does it go? does the number go up or down?
The
If you
higher
have
the
less-
number, the value. The higher the value. The lower the number, the lower the value.
So we don't want to get too out of whack in a neighborhood, Pam, you know, like, but
Right.
you look at this list and it wouldn't be the only, you know, that's why I was thinking.
I'm just looking at 20 north.
Now,
See
if you
what-
were to go with 3.9, it brings you down to 1,460,700. Which would bring it down 37,500 in the full value.
Doesn't sound like a lot.
Sam, can you look at 19 and 20 North Street, like your opinion on
On their water
yeah, like,
access?
you know,
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
Well, 20 water is direct waterfront, and he's at 1,483.
yeah, it's interesting that their C factor is 3.
Right, they've got direct deep water dock.
Right.
Yeah,
But those people along that high, there's a paper street between them and the water. They're not waterfront,
No.
those.
Yeah, but 20 is. 20 north. They're on the water side.
Yeah, they're definitely on the water side. I don't know why the property line is back from the water that way.
Because they don't own that strip of land between the property line and the dock.
Oh.
When that subdivision was done, that was created as a paper street.
That's very odd.
Yeah.
So they have the dock. They have the dock, but not
Yes.
the property between them and the dock.
Yeah, but it's an interesting workaround because they managed to not pay as much in taxes, yet they have full access to a dock in deep water.
Yeah.
Lower C rating, so that seems a little interesting.
You know, I don't know how long those docks are there. It surprises me that they even got permission to put docks because they don't own the property.
Yeah, no, they all have docks.
But that may have been done so long ago that they didn't look into those
I
things.
sold a house in Pawcatuck just in December. Their whole driveway is a paper road. This happens all over town where people just, start using it. It was long ago enough where they gave them permission to do it, but it's crazy.
What happens to the market value if we give the lot in question a 3.0 C factor? It has no dock access. You probably have to carry a kayak over to the water from that property.
That would bring the land value down from 1,498 to 1,123,600, which takes 374,600 off the value of the property.
That sounds fair to me. This is Pam. I don't know what everybody else thinks. I know I'm new, but from a real estate broker perspective, that sounds like fair value.
What did you say, a 3.0?
Yes. I mean, there's precedent in the neighborhood whether or not the Spanos should have that. They do.
Well, Spanos, this is unobstructed. I've been on their back porch, and it's spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, they should be at a 4.0.
Yeah.
Well, let's raise them and then
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm just saying that since it's a justification for giving somebody who really should be a 3.0 the 3.0. Does that make sense?
You,
No,
if
and that
you,
lot.
it's just so you are aware, if you have the option to vote that you want to increase an assessment, the process would be to send them a letter telling them they are going to be increased, and you give them an appointment so that they can appeal and give you reasons why it shouldn't be increased. And then you would vote after that appeal whether you wanted to increase them or not. You do have an option to increase assessments. That is one of your powers.
I mean, I don't think we're in that situation. I just think that the property in question here doesn't have the deep water, doesn't have any dock.
Okay,
And right
just
next to it is the pathway for the birds. Well, is it a state? I mean, there's waterfront access. Is it Avalon maybe? I'm not sure, but you just can't get to the water from their property. They have a little building on the property, and it's a guest slash. I think it's a studio or a garage.
Well, what if we don't go all the way down to 3? If we go somewhere in between, or
Well, I mean, the 3 might be fine. I mean, that's just probably at ends up being 1-1.
yeah,
1.123.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
For the land, and that's. I just want to make sure I'm right here. This is its own lot. It's not attached to the other house.
It is a separate lot, and I believe there's a 20-foot right-of-way strip of land between their two lots.
Okay, I see that. Yeah. I'm okay with making that adjustment.
Okay,
Anybody
so
else have any thoughts on that?
I think you're right.
okay, so
you're
for
adjusting the C factor to 3.
that would be the
Yeah.
change, and that would bring the value down to 1,123,600. Steve, you good with that?
Yes, I am. Steve is good with that.
Gisela?
I'm good with that.
Karen?
I'm good with that.
Okay. Then that one's done. The next one on the list is Durham, 9 Hendel Drive.
Yeah, I took this when I was listening, when I reread everything, that if you have a electric, if you're trying to make money on it, the solar panel, like, you'd be taxed. But in this case, I do understand he was using it, to power his store, and the agreement that you have to have with the company that services them, you do have to have the option of selling the energy, but it's never been enough that he was able to sell any back. But you just have to have that in place.
Right. This is true value, right?
Right. So to me, I didn't think he's not like running a solar panel farm or anything. He's just, and these agreements they make you put in place, because I know I've been selling houses, 2 of them lately, with solar panels. They do make you have these agreements in place, but they're not necessarily putting them on, even houses to make money. It's just to generate some, take care of your own electrical usage.
Right.
So
Well, don't you have to sell back just because in the summer you have extra, in the winter you have less? I mean, in New England, that's the way it works out.
Right. So in the end, yeah. So like they were saying, in the end, like you're not actually over the course of a year, you're not making any money. Just the way that it's set up, you're in agreement that it goes back and up and down. But he's not like making income on this. So I didn't.
Right.
I don't think it's something that. And it just doesn't seem like a good precedent to set where they can do this all over town, where people are putting them on their houses.
Yeah.
I could see like Elm Ridge is, they're going to actually literally make a solar farm to make money next to Elm Ridge Golf Course. That's been in the paper lately. And that's a totally different thing that they should be taxed on it, because they're doing it just to make money.
So I guess what he's looking for is to get his exemption.
Have you read the recommendation and why it was denied?
I read it, but I just disagreed with her. I didn't think she was, didn't seem to understand. I don't know. That was my feeling.
What I didn't understand is why he does not, she denied his exemption or his request because the town needed an ordinance, and we do have an ordinance regarding solar energy. But I guess the argument was that she thought he was making money on this.
That's what I took from it, and also from reading it and from what the attorney was saying, or whoever did the presentation the other night.
From the bills he submitted, it doesn't look like he's making money on it.
Right, and that's why I don't think the purpose of this is not, like I said, is not to tax people who are just generating their own electricity. The purpose is to tax it if it's like basically like almost another business.
Right.
And I just don't think that's what he's trying to do, and I just don't think the precedent of it is right. I think she thought that there was an agreement, Marcia, so she thought, oh, he's trying to sell the electricity, but it's something that they have to have in place for all these solar companies.
Yeah, and with the bill showing that they're not producing as much as they're using, I'd be inclined to give them their exemption.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Okay, so all three agree to grant the exemption?
Yes.
Yes. Steve, yes.
Okay. All right. Next one, actually the next two are both in Coveside Lane. 30, you got Shorrock and Welch, 32 and 36.
Yeah. Going back over the last couple of years, I know last year we had that guy came in who was trying to, do it for everybody. Remember that, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, put out a letter to all the the owners, and some took him up on it. So we kind of feel like blanket denied all of them last year. But the year before, if I remember, we found there were a lot of inconsistencies within the condo units. Do you remember that, Steve?
I do, but you know what? You've lost me here. Which one are we looking at now?
So there's two of them.
Rock and Welsh in Coveside Lane.
I gotta find them.
32 Coveside and 36 Coveside.
Okay, so that was on Tuesdays.
Yeah, okay, sure, yeah.
So at least Welsh's 36 was...
Because Chirac, or however, he was saying they were looking at other units, similar size, square footage, and they were saying that theirs was off. Theirs was higher than units with the same square footage and similar amenities. And I should have looked these up.
Now, 34 Coastside Lane sold July of 2017 for $435, which is right between the two.
Okay. I think that what we had found before was that it's just from one unit to the other, there seems to be inconsistent. Let me pull up Coastside Lane. Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, 34, which is the one in between them, sold July of 17 for the 435,000, and then it sold again March of 2020 for $50,000 less. Same unit.
Well, obviously, the market has changed a lot on those units.
Yeah, I was just going to look at it, how the different units are, I don't know why they were. There's 1784. So, like, if you look at the examples they gave were they're 32 Coveside, and then you look at 23 Coveside, they're 1,787 square feet. 23 Coveside is 1,772 square feet. Basically, you know, like, not enough to make a difference. And they're at 385,000 appraised, and 23 Coastside is appraised for 310,000. That's a $70,000 difference in the same building, the same square footage. That's why I was saying I just remembered that they just don't seem to be consistent in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if anything, I'm looking, theirs is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and the other one I was talking about that is 2 full bathrooms. So, if, you know, oh no, they're both 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, yeah, 2 bedrooms. So it seems like,
Which one are you saying? 17?
no, I'm looking at 23 Coveside versus 32 Coveside, just as an example of where footage is the same, but I don't know if it's average. Let me just see what this.
32 also talked about Rest having a grander view, and I guess they had a courtyard that looked at everybody else's side of their house.
Yeah, they have a great view.
32 was the one that sent us the picture of the neighbor. That's their view.
Yeah. So the difference, I guess, maybe the building grade for these people, it says good, and for 23 Coveside, it says average/good. Would that make the difference?
Probably.
I'm looking at the map showing where they're located in the complex. Their numbers run funny. 36 faces out towards that water.
They're 32.
32 looks across the street. Can you bring up the GIS?
Yeah. I am.
32 is the one that was claiming they really didn't have much to look at.
From what I can see, they don't, looking at the aerial.
Yeah. They're the ones that also have the picture, just kind of their back courtyard just looks at the neighbor's house.
The neighbor's house, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they look over at, yeah.
And
36
is valued much higher, so he must have a view.
Yeah, if you look, he looks out over, I don't know what you want to call it, that little inlet on Route 1. He looks, so he's got that in front of, it looks like marshy stuff. And then he's got that body of water. And then it's Route 1.
And he's appraised 50,000 higher, so Welch is.
Yes. Let's see.
Welch is where.
Welch is 36, the one looking out.
36. Yes, okay.
And he bought his in 2013.
So his building grade is good as well.
How many others have something less than good? Is it average good? What was it?
I just was looking at one right now. I guess we could flip through a bunch. I was just using the one they were giving. I jotted down, they said a whole lot of them, but then that one I had written down 23, and it is, it is a big difference in their assessment. We don't have any interior photos, right?
There's some on,
So we do. Okay.
yeah, on the Shorrock.
Okay, is that in an email?
That was in the recommendation. It's an it looks like an MLS listing.
Okay.
And the same with 36. There's an MLS listing with pictures of 36 as well.
Yeah, those aren't, like, the cabinets don't look good, or the appliances. Yeah, it's definitely not good.
Who are you talking? Which one are you talking about?
You're looking at
32?
32. Wait a minute. Yeah. I'm looking at 32 on the pictures.
Okay, I've got Coveside Lane here. If there's numbers that you want me to check, I can tell you how they're listed.
Okay. I just think looking at two units in the same place that are the same square footage, it just seems like it's inconsistent. Not based on anything, how things have sold, or it just, I could see why they're looking at something else and saying this isn't fair. And I do remember 2 years ago we found the same thing. There were a lot of, for some reason, this particular unit were inconsistent.
The two that we're looking at, does the condition look higher than what the other ones are listed left and right?
I wouldn't say, no, not looking at these 32 Coastside Lane, the pictures, they look, no, they're not in better condition.
So their grade is not considered higher?
No, well, yeah, they are. That's what one thing is, that it's considered good, where the other one's considered average / good. I don't know if that makes that, if that's what's making the big difference.
What kind of change does that make it though?
Which one are you talking about?
For 32 Coastside, if we change the condition to average / good. No, building grade, sorry.
Which one?
Building grade. Right now it says good.
But we're talking about 32?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I have so many town cards up now, I'm getting
Okay, so if we brought it down to average good, the assessment on, let's see, the total assessment would go to $245,500.
What's that change?
That would reduce the assessment $27,900.
Yeah, it's still, higher than the other one I was comparing it to. So, I mean, I definitely think that's fair.
Which number are you comparing it to?
23 Coastside.
Okay, 23 is an end unit. And this is an interior unit. If that makes any difference to you.
The end would be better.
Actually, it would be higher, so it doesn't, yeah.
Okay.
What's the square footage of 23?
They're only like 10 square foot difference.
Oh, okay.
772 versus 1787. That's why I don't know why it's so different.
Well, the MLS listing that they had for 32, 1787, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think changing it to average good would be reasonable. It's not going to be a huge difference, but...
Yep. I'm fine with that.
a little more in line.
I'm
Ye-
fine with that too.
Okay, so that's Shorrock you want to do that with.
Yeah.
32. Okay.
Good.
So
Now,
now,
Welch is a bigger unit.
now you want to look at Welch?
Yeah, so Welch and, okay, I got him up now.
He's a larger unit.
He's the one that faces towards the
Cove.
the cove there.
Let me find what he said. He wouldn't have made much of an impression. I didn't write anything down. Great.
I think he's an end unit too, isn't he? Or not?
36.
Well, okay.
No, he is not an end unit.
He's not?
But when you look at the map, he's an interior unit, but there's the garages, so they sit back. So it looks like he's not completely boxed in with another unit on that side. He may have like a window on that side because the garages sit back.
Yeah, it looks like, is that his unit on the MLS listing that has the garage attached?
It is attached to his.
And he has 2140 square feet. So this is larger.
This is larger. He also has 2.5 baths. That's big difference between the other one had 2 bedrooms, 1.5 baths.
Right. So he is a bigger.
Yeah.
And the pictures from the listing, I think, are nicer than the other.
So what are you thinking on him?
Yeah, I'm not finding, he's just looking at, he's comparing it to your footage. said you saw pictures. I didn't.
If you go on under the
Maybe I'm in this first one.
recommendations, they have the MLS listing.
I thought I just saw out the exterior.
Now, if you scroll all the way down on the recommendation page, there are pictures of the interior.
This one have a third floor.
Looks like he has a great room, or he has a room, an extra room there.
The one you asked if he could stand up or not, Steve? Is that the house?
Oh, okay. Yes.
And
Yeah, if you look
what
at
did he say?
if you look at the picture, you can see the garage is attached, and he's got some windows on the front, on the side,
Yeah.
because the garage sits
Yeah,
back.
definitely. These pictures are way nicer than the other one I was looking at.
Yeah, they are, because it looks like it's been remodeled.
Yeah, the other one was like, yeah. And it has a nice patio. I don't know if the other ones have that. It's a nice area. I don't know that they all have that. I don't know. I'm okay for leaving his. I don't see as much.
Yeah, it looks like the headroom's pretty good upstairs. One side slopes down a bit, but office desk and skylights.
Yeah.
It's not lost a lot. It's not like it's a 1700 house where
Yeah.
you have no headroom.
Yeah, and I definitely wouldn't go to average for his.
Yeah. No.
It is. Yeah.
His is definitely good.
Yeah. I'm fine leaving his.
So I've got a denied from Karen.
Yeah, tonight, Steve.
Denied, Diesel.
Okay. Next one is Mortensen, 24 Morgan Street.
His argument mostly was he doesn't have off-street parking, and
Oh, right. I remember now. Yeah.
I don't know that that's really an argument, but
Well, the only thing is that, I'm sure you guys find the same thing. It makes it tough to sell a house when you don't have a place to park.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it had been being used as a rental.
it still is.
Yeah. Did it sell so it didn't sell?
No, he still owns it.
Yeah.
He's still renting it.
Yeah.
What does it rent for? That would affect that.
I think he said 1,500.
$1,550 per month.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was but it rented for $1,500. Yeah.
We have it.
I don't.
We have it in at 252.4.
And it's in good condition. From what I've seen, so I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The house is, I guess we have to go back to 2 Yeah, I don't know.
What is that? Is it two lots? What's next door? 24. This is a 25.
25, there's a new house on there.
Oh, okay.
That would be across the street, though, right?
No, lot 25.
Oh, lot 25.
That was, there's a big right-of-way across it, and they had to build a house that looks a lot like a mobile home because of that sewer line that runs through there.
Okay, that's yep. elevation on the house? So, what's 23 right next door? That's a tiny lot, 32 feet.
Let's see.
There's a house on that, must be sideways also.
No, that's a little,
Huh?
It does seem a lot for a 2-bedroom. But, no. 1,200 square feet, 2-bedroom. Yeah, that does seem high, but
How much is that one?
What? I'm looking at 24 Morgan.
Okay, what's the price for lot 23? Is the house 26?
26 has a full value of 157,400.
Well, there's a big difference in.
The house is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Let's see if I can find the living area for you. Living area is, it's right here in front of me, 715 square feet
Well,
on 26.
Yeah.
And this one's 1278.
yeah. And only 2-bedroom. That is, that's pretty small. Still, it's not as small as 700, but.
2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. And it's all redone inside, it looks like. Wood floors.
Well, it's completely done at nice, so I'm sure that's where the valuation came from. This was a recommendation with no change.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on Anthony, you'd have to go searching for other houses that he didn't provide anything. Make a good case.
So we think of no change?
Yeah.
So,
I'm good with no change.
okay, so all three of you agree to deny it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Next one is that 8 Montauk Avenue, Shane. I think that's how we pronounced it.
Is this the one you can see from Route 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one on the right as you turn down from Route 1.
Yeah, I keep looking at it like so interesting.
Like, what is happening there?
Oh, I said to John, I was like, they're like putting on a nice addition, but then there's still that other part.
They're demolishing part of it.
Yeah, now that I'm reading it, just based on driving by, I've been trying to figure it out.
it started with the garage, I believe, and living space above it, and then the house itself wraps around the old house.
Right.
So you can see the actual house better from the side road.
Doing it, it's a weird.
I believe if you read the recommendation, Greg has been in there.
Yeah.
He's got two different recommendations there.
Change it from good to fair condition. That's fine with me.
You would reduce it to poor, it would be reduce it by 47.7.
I mean, it's coming down, and it's been. I think they're just using it as storage at the moment. Is the holdup? They're waiting to tear it down, I guess, or if they applied.
I think they're living. I think somebody's living in it, so they're taking it down.
Well, they're living in the new part of the house, but I don't think anybody's living in the old part of the house. I think the furnace is gone.
Yeah.
I think this has been changing as he's been developing.
Yeah. Well, even the new part of the house, from what I can see, I don't think there's anybody living in the house. They're all living above the garage, which is a studio or a addition, a guest cottage, I guess. And I think the old house is going to be torn down. It's just.
Did he say that the heat is gone?
I thought that's what he said. When you look in the windows and the doors as you drive by, it's pretty much, I think, just storage of equipment and stuff until the house is finished.
I think I'd be inclined to reduce it.
It's going to be torn down, so I think that it's already been gutted out of it. So.
Yeah, because part of the recommendation said if the home is not heated and never again to be occupied, which obviously that part isn't.
Yeah.
That we could reduce it. We should reduce it by 47.7.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So you want to reduce it to the poor.
To the poor, to the poor condition,
Yep.
And do I have all your votes?
Yep, Madam.
Yes.
Yes, Steve, yes.
Okay. Zero, 223 Jerry Brown Road.
That was an interesting recommendation.
So that was a porch and shed. They just wanted to make sure they had it correct, I guess. Oh, sorry, that's the one that had a storage unit we're getting charged.
No, Zero's in Jerry Brown Road, and they wanted theirs reduced because they just bought it for $520.
Oh, that's right. My notes went into the wrong line here. There you go. The storage in the shed was the Thorpe's Tipping Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Zero.
Oh, well, this is one of those cases where you have a right to increase it.
Yeah. I found that funny when I was reading it. The recommendation was to increase it because there's an extra fireplace that wasn't there, or that was not on the card.
I don't remember. So the Zillow, yeah, we're going to discount that. So I say we just leave it where it is, this assessment.
Yeah, just you just gotta get back here.
Okay, so Karen, you just want to deny the petition?
Yeah.
I would deny it too.
Gisela?
Yes, I'd
Okay.
deny it.
And Steve?
Yes, we'll deny it.
Okay. Next one is Thorpe.
Yeah, the whole storage shed thing.
I think he was appealing that the card was wrong, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there was.
Part of it was the shed and part was something else.
The deck.
Patio
The deck.
or deck. Yeah.
Yeah. And the shed, I guess, was a storage unit.
Well,
It was gone then.
I
It was
bel
a pod, he said.
It was.
I believe that isn't. That's what they think, but I don't think that's the case.
No, Greg said that was something they had missed before. That was under a storage building.
Yeah, something about the if you go around the back, there's like a walk-in area.
I thought it said underground.
Yeah.
A root cellar. So that wasn't the pod that they had put on there. It was something else. Shed that was there.
Sometimes to price out buildings to get them accurate, and sometimes they're attached, like with the shed, it may have a bigger portion or a smaller portion or something underneath. We don't have in the computer system a way to make that all one building. So it may take a couple entries to account for everything. Like with some of the farm buildings, you've got the big barn, and then off to the side, you've got a milking room or a calving room or something like that. That's only one story instead of big like a barn. We may list that as two outbuildings so we can price each section.
So apparently Greg did a visit out there, right?
Yes.
And measured and that sort of thing.
But there
I
was.
go along with that recommendation.
Yeah, there was a recommendation because of with the angles, how it prices out.
Yeah.
So that reduced their assessment, or it reduced the value to $522. So it's by $600. Not a lot.
Yeah, but it's to adjust for that square footage on the deck.
Yeah.
And they wanted, that's the main thing was they want to get that straightened out. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, especially if Greg's been out there and he's taken a look, and I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Up Churches next. 145 River Road.
This was another measurement thing. He's got a lot of angles on this house, too. Or little cutouts, you know.
Oh, this is the one, he didn't want to include the utility room?
That was part of it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we measure on the outside. We do that with every house. And we have to round to the nearest, foot.
What else was there in the notes?
I think that was pretty much it, was he was challenging the square footage was too high. So this is a new house though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't even have it as complete yet. We have it 90% complete as of October 1.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a problem with it, leaving it.
I second that.
Yeah, I'm fine leaving it.
Okay, so that's a unanimous denial.
Yes.
Okay, and Maine is your last one on the agenda tonight.
And he recommended reducing the assessment on the shed by $800 or 800 square feet, right? Is that? And that's what they wanted.
No, this is a farm exemption appeal. There's a new law where if you can exempt farm buildings if they're used for farming. When he filed
Right,
his
and that's 800 square foot shed or whatever?
yes, when they filed their petition, they said basically it was just to hold wood,
Yeah.
and they provided you with pictures of the chickens and the tractor and all of that. But
Yeah.
they did apply for it. It was denied, so it's up to you what you want to do with that.
I'm inclined to let them have it.
I'll let them have it.
Yes, I say so too.
I see a chicken inside there, right?
And a tractor in it.
And a tractor. I see 3 chickens actually in a little bucket, so I think we're good.
All right. So that was the last one for tonight. Did any of you have a chance to read the minutes for Wednesday's meeting?
I didn't. And I did sign the other ones. I just then didn't actually send them to you.
Okay.
I scanned them. Sorry. I'll try to remember that tomorrow.
I saw them. Would you like me to move that we approve them?
That would be.
I didn't read them, but I'm fine.
Do you want to table them
I
to?
just say that. Yeah, can we table them?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just do them at tomorrow's meeting.
Right.
All right.
Okay, tomorrow night, since you don't have any hearings, you've got a lot more petitions to go over, but a lot of them are the personal property.
Okay.
If you get a chance to review them and you have any questions, I'm working tomorrow in the office and I'll be here 6:30 in the morning. I'll be here till about 2. So if you have any questions, email them to me or to Marcia or just to the office so we can try to get you answers for the meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow. Would you, Steve, you want to adjourn the meeting?
Can I move to adjourn the meeting?
Okay.
Second it.
Okay.
Okay. See you tomorrow. Or talk to you anyway.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.